can see a lot of their programs right here. And in fact, if you notice right here, there's a Bible Chef account now. The thing is, the difference between this and YouTube, I mean, this is strictly Christian stuff, so you don't get the secular stuff. And this is very limited. YouTube will allow you to put up about 2 gigabytes. This will only go to 200 megabytes. So this is less than about an eighth of what it does.
Is that a Mormon one down in the lower right hand corner? Latter-day Saints?
I don't know, I didn't look at it. So anyways, the thing is to be in prayer about that and see where God wants that to go. And I'll keep you posted with it. See if we have anything else to go on. We're moving along here. You see the explosion of the nuclear reactors?
Oh, just in the last few hours?
Oh, well, it happened, what did it, yesterday morning, was it?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, well, couldn't keep the water going. You know, when I start seeing things like that, when I hear about enormous earthquakes like that, I mean, that earthquake occurred on a ocean floor, like, something like that hasn't happened in how many thousands of years? That magnitude of change in the ocean floor. It's
A
just
60-foot shift, I think.
yeah, moved some islands even. Amazing. Man gets very smug about his abilities and his presence in the world, and he often forgets what God has been doing for him. Turns his back on God. He stops praising God and he starts praising the things that he can do. Look what I can do. I can build a city out here in the ocean. Look what I can do. I can build a nuclear reactor. All these different things he brags about. And all it takes is just a little shift in the earth to bring that all down. How many people have the potential there in Japan of being poisoned by radiation now from that cloud? Yeah. 2 cities right next to it, you know, it's just amazing. And one of them is what, like the 10th largest in Japan? I remember when I was going to Cal Poly, and they have sirens up there over by Morro Bay. And have you been up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever heard those sirens go off?
No.
You used to test those silly things without telling anybody, you know? Scared me to death. I'm running all over the place trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do next, you know? How do I get a hold of the news and find out if it's really been a meltdown?
As you think about it, pray for the UCs, that young couple that was here a few months ago, and we are taking them on as missionaries to Japan. And they're planning to go to Japan in October, around in there, August, September, October, something like that. And they were going to be in the northern part of Japan. I can't remember the name of the city. I can imagine what this is doing to their plans and anticipations and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. So we're still in 45. We finish it today, essentially. 45:15, I think we were. I think this is where we stopped last time. Start here at 16. All the makers of idols will be put to shame, disgraced. They will go off and disgrace together. They shall be ashamed and confounded. That is, they shall find all their hopes fail and shall be suffused with shame. And wherever the so senseless as to trust in blocks of wood and stone. They shall go to confusion. They shall all retire in shame and disgrace. That is when they have gone to supplicate their idols, they shall find them unable to render them any aid, and they shall retire with shame. Any idols? Any idols? Can you think of any idols that might be in Japan?
No, they have shrines, quite a few shrines, don't they?
Yeah. And around the corners, we have these shrines with these little wooden dolls like
Yeah.
this. And the mothers would come and give sacrifices for their kids or take big tests. And if they passed it, they would actually paint the eyes and show that the gods followed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're placing any idols now. Continuing to work on my Egyptian display, my presentation that I'm going to be giving to the class on all of the gods and idols of Egypt that were challenged with by God through Moses. And as I accumulate all this stuff, it's difficult to have them in your presence. I don't like to have it in my presence. And it changes the way I pray. Because now I have to pray that God protects me from all that poison that's got lined up in front of me. He is the true God. Start to get back to those fundamentals. You are the true God. You are the one I walk with. You are the one that will protect me. You are the one that will guide me. But Israel will be saved by the Lord with their everlasting salvation. You will never be put to shame or disgrace to ages everlasting. Israel shall be saved. First the Jews in Babylon, and affirm the truth that Israel is the people of God, and it shall be saved from all their trials, and it shall be brought to this everlasting kingdom. Wow. I'd like to talk to that commentator that said this. He's got a lot of qualifying to do with that one. As we know, in the time of Isaiah to now, even if you include Babylon, Jewish people are definitely going to be tried or tested at least, aren't they? And in fact, I mean, we just use the Holocaust as the only example here in this. The Jews actually, while I think they were in Auschwitz, they actually put God on trial. Remember hearing about that? What's your recollection of it?
Well, why does God allow evil to do? That was, yeah. I don't remember how it actually turned out, but they did a program on TV.
Yeah. Well, using a lot of the verses from the Torah and the prophets, they put God on trial and asked him these questions here. If you are our God, and if you are going to protect us, and if we are going to shall be saved from their trials, putting in a concentration camp is a pretty strong trial, and be brought into your kingdom, glorified in your kingdom, then how can this happen?
Steve, it seems to me that when they talk about saving them from all their trials, doesn't necessarily mean that each individual Jew is going to be saved from having a trial. Obviously, with 6 million people slain during World War II, that wouldn't be the case. But their identity as those graced by God has been maintained. In fact, if you think about the moment when the state of Israel in May 1948 was established. That was a sign, and here they were almost, seemingly in Europe anyway, almost wiped out. But God brought them through that, and even to the point where they could establish a nation of their own again, in the country that belonged to them, and become a state among other nations, the nation of nations.
God said, I will preserve a remnant. It will become great. That's exactly what we see. And again, this is that multi-dimensional. I would say that this has some elements of truth in it, but it's looking at it in a very narrow perspective. That this has more dimensions to it than that. And if you look at it like this, you're going to be missing most of that. You're going to be missing what Don said, and you're going to be missing the things that can start to move and apply to your life as well. Because Israel, the concept of Israel, like we said before, it goes to the man Jacob, it goes to the Jewish people, but it also goes to those people who follow and love God. Because it expands out like that. By the Lord, here he's using the word Yahweh. It shall be done by the power, by his power, Yahweh, and shall be traced to him alone. That's the other message. That's one of the overlying messages. No more human power could have saved them from Babylon. No human power can save the soul from hell. That means the second part of that. With an everlasting salvation. Now, if our Jewish friends were here, they would stop right there. They don't want to go any further than that concept right there. There's more to it than that. Just Jesus Christ and all of that. With an everlasting salvation, you are moving into a true salvation, not by a temporary deliverance as in the past. Go into that next dimension. Well, you got us out of this situation. Well, yeah, I got you out of this situation, but the big picture is eternal salvation. And you can reference that in Romans 11:30-26. That's the one you got?
She's in Deuteronomy, she's a little ways away.
Or,
You want that one?
no, that's okay. I just heard her turning. I thought maybe she read that. For this is what the Lord says,